What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Power1V. Now today I have a special video for you. I have two very special guests with me today. We're discussing a topic that is known to every streamer right now. It is DMCA. And I have with me ATLCanadian. He is also a content creator. And I also have with me the COO of Mismatch Gaming, Trreg. Now, we have been discussing the DMCA for about 30, 40 minutes. We have a bunch of great ideas, bunch of opinions. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Enjoy the rest of the video. How's it going, guys? My name is David, aka Power1V, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about DMCA. As you guys have already know, DMCA has been a huge problem right now with Twitch. Twitch has been getting hit with, you know, remarks from DMCA from other music companies, and streamers have been playing music on their streams. So, I want to talk a little bit about that. Some streamers don't really care much about it. They don't really care about the DMCA, the strikes. They're still gonna play music. Other streamers are afraid of getting strikes on their profiles. Right now, I've got Trreg MMG. He is actually the business end of Mismatch Gaming. He knows a little bit about the law of copyright and all that. I've also got ATLCanadian with me as well. He's also a content creator. He is also an org owner, a fairly new org owner, Talentless Esports. They're going to talk a little bit about, what they think, their opinions, maybe what Twitch could do to improve their circumstance when it comes to DMCA. Welcome, guys.
Hey, David, thanks for having me.
Likewise.
All right. So first off, I want to talk a little bit. I want to ask you guys' opinion on, on the whole DMCA thing, on what Twitch is doing. I mean, I'm gonna let you guys have the floor on that. What do you guys think is going on? What could be improved with it?
So I guess if we're gonna look at it, I think a lot of people are really quick to try to put blame on uh, either record labels for going after streamers, or the streamers themselves, or Twitch. There's a lot of blame being thrown around, and I understand the frustration. I understand that the situation isn't an easy one to deal with. But from my perspective, I don't actually think anyone's necessarily in the wrong here. Um, I think everyone has pretty clear intentions. And I think a lot of the backlash comes from a lot of misunderstanding, um, and just not.
Misunderstanding. What do you mean by that?
Well, a lot of people think this is Twitch's fault, but let's look at this from Twitch's perspective, right? They are legally obligated uh, to enact this. If they did not enforce DMCA regulations,
Yeah.
which were passed down from Congress 20 plus years ago now at this point, they'd be sued into oblivion. Twitch would be
Yeah.
gone as a platform, because anytime that a streamer posts copyrighted material, the record company or whoever the copyright holder is could come in, not only sue the streamer, but also sue Twitch. And if that were to happen, Twitch would be gone, just sued into oblivion within weeks. So to anyone out there who blames Twitch for this situation, this is for the survival of Twitch as a business and a platform. And if you want to blame them for that, I'm just a little curious where that would come from. So I think a lot of it is just not understanding the law, not understanding the motivation, which leads to a lot of this anger.
Perfect. I mean, I understand, like, with the whole, getting like Twitch getting hit with it, and Twitch being sued to oblivion. I understand that. I think I read something a couple years ago. YouTube was having the same issue before they had their algorithm put into the website, and YouTube was almost not a thing. So they were battling court cases and all that, and I wish I had the dates, but YouTube was almost not a thing a couple years ago. I mean, it was bad until they ended up fixing it. They're like, all right, look, this is what we're gonna do. But yeah, I completely agree. Misunderstanding, can be huge. Canadian, what do you think, bud?
Well, I think like a lot of it comes down to lack of knowledge, and it's not a bad thing. And to sum it up, like misunderstanding is a better way of putting it, probably. But I think a lot of streamers are gray on the area of what would be infringing on a copyright, And I think that Twitch does a poor job also of explaining that to the creators. And the one thing that you and I talked about earlier, Power, was how Twitch doesn't actually strike you while you're live, which is the
Yes.
confusing part to me. They strike you on a VOD that's saved after. And you don't really gain from that as a creator as a VOD, because like I said, you're not going to have 75 viewers watching your VOD at one time. You're going to have 75 viewers watching your VOD live. Why isn't
Yeah.
it looked after in the live moment? Why is it coming back to bite you later? And I think that's what upsets some streamers as well, is that it's not happening as it's happening. You get striked sometimes days after, and that's the
Right.
part that's very, very confusing. And also the other thing we talked about as well, Power, was the lack of communication from Twitch. You can open a ticket, but you can't do anything else. You can't call them, and they're owned by Amazon. They have call centers. They have the capacity to take calls and to make calls. And I think another point that you have to think about too is from the consumer end. If you're if you're a streamer and this is your livelihood, if
Hmm.
this is your primary source of income, and you get a strike or you get this or you get that, and YouTube's a great example because when you get strike, they actually take the monetization away.
Yep.
How do you with Twitch, how do you recover that? How can you be a streamer and not be able to talk about your job? You have no way of contacting someone about your job or your
Yep.
career or your income. And I think that's why it causes like the panic with streamers, because you're getting striked and you have no way of talking to a human. You submit a ticket online and get robot like answers. That's my take.
Right. So going back at that, I'm not gonna go too much into detail about it, but talking about how long it takes to get to in contact with Twitch support and all that. I had an issue myself with something that was going on with my content, with my stream, with my Twitch at the time, and it took me. I had to make a new account. It took me well over 2 months to get my problem solved from support, and I just feel like either they're super busy and they're just getting bombarded with tickets, or like I don't know, maybe not enough employees to handle the workload. I don't know. I can't begin to know what's going on their end. I can only hope that my ticket or my problems get handled on a timely manner, as well as every other streamer. Now I gotta ask you this. Glad you brought that up. Do you think with Twitch support, do you think larger streamers get more of like a precedence, or do you think like everybody's equal, or how do you think Twitch handles that when it comes to like support?
Well, I'm pretty sure that like the larger streamers do have direct contacts. A lot of them are managed by like talent agencies. They have an official agent or representative firm.
Right.
And those firms always have contacts and they can get in touch with someone important. Like let's take Dr. Disrespect and his little situation with Twitch, for example. He had a guy, one of his agents or representatives that was on the phone with a guy from Twitch probably 24/7 to make sure
Yeah.
that
Right.
situation was
Right.
handled. When it comes to a streamer like you or me or Canadian here, someone without like a massive cult following,
Yeah.
um, it gets a little bit more complicated. You can definitely. I'm not gonna say Twitch is perfect in this situation with their response times and their customer support or their client support. I guess when it comes to streamers, it's certainly not perfect. But in the case of copyright and DMCA, this is some complicated stuff. This isn't the type of thing where your standard call center employee that tracks an Amazon package can sit in and look over a VOD and figure out, is this copyrighted material? Is this not copyrighted material? This is legitimate legal business. And a lot of it will require the use of a lawyer to be able to determine, hey, is this actually legal? Because this is a question of legality.
Right.
So obviously having a call center full of lawyers gets pretty expensive pretty quick. Uh, so I'd like to say that I think Twitch is doing a pretty reasonable job with this. Obviously, it's not perfect. I don't think any system is.
Yeah. Right.
But it's a really tough situation for everyone involved, really.
All right. So I want to talk. I want to touch on some things that certain streamers have said. Big streamers, big name streamers on the whole DMCA topic. And I want to ask you guys' opinion on it. So let's just start off. I just watched a video. Maybe last night. It was Nick Merckx. He was talking to Tim the Tapman. He said that he's gonna refuse to get rid of his videos, his VODs. I know when when Twitch was really, finally cracking down on the DMCA, and people were getting hit hard, and it was just a ban wave and suspension wave. Like, um, he stopped playing any type of music on his streams, and then he ended up like he makes a joke about it, saying he texted Drake and DM Drake, and now he plays nothing but Drake on his. How do you think that? How do you think like? What do you think the situation is with that? Do you think he's in the right for not worrying about the DMCA? Do you think he is probably putting himself in a bad situation later on, or like what do you think?
Well, I think it's pretty cut and dry that if he can get express written consent, to use the legal term, from whatever party is the copyright holder for
Right.
usage of their music, or Shroud, for instance, he had that situation where he actually did pay licensing fees to be able to use certain music during his streams. If he is the legal rights holder or has a license to use that music, then like there he is in the right. Like he's doing nothing illegal. He's doing nothing wrong. Um, Obviously he sets himself up for trouble if Twitch is going to use a bot or an algorithm to figure that out. The algorithm isn't going to. I guess it could work with licensing agreements to know what songs are licensed and what songs aren't, but that seems a little bit unreasonable to expect of them.
Right.
Uh, at least on such short notice, since this is a new development. Really, this kind of came out of nowhere on everyone, I think.
Right.
But it's difficult because even if you're in the right on this situation, let's say Tim the Tapman, like Twitch, the Twitch takes him down, and he wants to protest that, right? He is liable to be sued, and this situation goes into court because we've said it before, we'll say it again. This is legitimate law. This is federal law.
You're right.
And even if Tim's in the right, the legal fees alone are going to be massive in a situation like this. And is it worth it? So that's really the question the streamers have to ask themselves. Is it worth it to bring this trouble on themselves for the music? Even if they are in the right, there's a lot of gray area and a lot of potential for issues.
Now, Canadian, I'm gonna ask you that about the whole Shroud thing. Now, Trreg did mention that he paid, Shroud did pay, for licenses or whatever for certain songs. Now I did go on one of his clips, and he did say this word for word, and I have proof of it. He says, "If I got a license to play music on my stream, Twitch would not know. Therefore, their Twitch algorithm that mute VODs would still mute my VODs, even though I am legally okay with it." Now that goes back to the whole VODs and not hitting you with it while you're live. What do you say about Shroud saying that? Like, what's your opinion on that?
I think it's just a really complex situation, honestly. Like, so if Shroud got a license to play music on a stream, Twitch wouldn't know, and therefore their Twitch algorithm that mutes VODs would still mute my VODs, even though I'm legally okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the part that just shows the weakness in how Twitch operates. Is it, if Shroud got a license to play music on a stream, why can't he send that to them? Why isn't there an efficient way to do that? Add a license to your stream or a certificate of license. But then this comes down to the other thing I mentioned before. It's just impossible to contact anyone at Twitch. And if you do get in touch with someone, it's very, very slow going. It takes weeks to get something that should be one or two emails or a quick phone call done. And that leads into something I want to touch on that Trreg said earlier. I believe that like affiliates, for example, they don't get hardly any notice from Twitch, but some affiliates could make $2,000 or $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's a large sum of money. So if you have a problem with your account, just like a bank or PayPal or any other comparison you want to use, why can't you call them?
Right.
And so when you talk about partners that have agents that can contact them and so on, I'd be very pressed to see how many affiliates versus partners there are, and how many affiliates that are not partner that make $2,000 US or more a month off of subs and bits and ad revenue and so on. If that group of affiliates is large, why don't they have the same support that partners have?
Right.
Just because they're not partner doesn't mean they don't make decent enough money that it's got to be worthwhile for Twitch. So then if you look at it from the outside, Shroud is a really big streamer. If he's saying this, for example, why are not only the big streamers but also the small streamers just left out? So I think there's like a small niche of streamers, like Trreg mentioned, Dr. Disrespect, I think there's a very, very small group of like these big streamers that might have that access to get things handled or resolved quickly or get in touch quickly. But
Like
we
a
all
direct
don't have
line.
agents, and there's a
Right.
lot of streamers that agent themselves, so to speak, right?
Hmm.
So I think when you talk about, you know, how could Twitch's copyright algorithm be improved? I don't necessarily think the algorithm is what needs to be improved. I think there needs to be more systems in place for support for affiliates and partners. I think if you're underneath affiliate, I don't think there's any reason for you to really need support other than your general tech support. But affiliate partners should have like some type of support, either a phone number that they can access or a live chat feature in their dashboard. And I think outside of that, I really think that Twitch needs to do a better job of educating publicly on Twitch, on their page and their help center, how their algorithm works and what is considered copyright infringement. Because if you Google around, you can see people who do like in real life streams and there's music playing in the background
Hmm.
that's not even close to them, like you faintly hear it, but the
Yeah.
algorithm picks that up, for example, right?
Hmm.
So why is it in real life stream causing those kind of issues? Because you see streams like from YouTube, or you see like even on TV, like TV shows like news and different things, you see other copyrighted concerns that aren't getting flagged
Yep.
per se, in the same way that Twitch flags an independent streamer that walks by a pub that's playing a song, for example.
Right. That's actually a great point. Honestly, I mean, I didn't even think about that. There's you could do in real life streams, like podcasts or whatever, and you could be walking down the street and having music playing, in the background, and you could be hit with it. I wasn't actually, that's great. I wasn't even thinking about that. But touching back on that affiliate thing and not having like, the resources or whatever. So when you hit affiliate, right, on Twitch, when you hit affiliate, you have to, in order for you to get paid for anything, or for Twitch to pay you, when you start making your money and start making your revenue, you have to complete I'm looking at it now. You have to complete a onboarding program. So it's
Yep.
basically, it says affiliate onboarding. You have to put your information in. They ask you for the next step is change payout method. They ask you for certain information, how you want to get paid out, and such. And then you have obviously they have the affiliate agreement. Like with that, that's a lot of personal information that you're putting in, for you to get paid. Like you said, even though you're affiliate, like that could potentially, some affiliates, man. I mean, some people can be making really good money, and that's their only source of revenue. And with nowadays, like with the whole COVID-19 and everything, a lot of people are committing to content creation and streaming, and this could be their only source of income. So with all that, like, I do believe that support really needs to step up their game and really needs to like let people know and open everybody's eyes on what they're doing to improve their call center or whatever they have, for issues like DMCA. They're really cracking down on the DMCA. If you get striked and you actually have proof that you can play that music, or that's your music, or like I was talking to I believe it was you or Trreg earlier. I have a friend who makes his own beats, right? And he makes his own music, and he plays it in the background of his stream sometimes, and he got striked for playing music that he made 24 hours ago. Like, that he made. I mean, like, how is he supposed to get in contact with support? Like, is he supposed to wait 2, 3, 4 4 weeks? Like what is it? You know what I'm saying? But I think we pretty much got like touched on the support end of Twitch. Let's I want to get on to something else. Let me see here. All right, so I want to ask both you guys individually. All right, starting with Trreg. You run the business end of MMG. How do you feel that you can protect your organization or your streamers or anybody who's making content for you, like whether it's logos, whether it's intros for other streamers? Like how would you say you would protect your people?
I mean, it's important to just make sure, like we've talked about before, that everyone is well informed. And just advise caution. When we do our broadcast, we run an Xbox Siege League, and we broadcast matches for that. So we have a Twitch account. It's got a few thousand followers, and it brings in some decent revenue for us when we use it. So it's obviously a priority to keep that safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have music that we use, but we take precautions to make sure it's all licensed, it's all public use,
Mm-hmm.
so everything's clear there. When it comes to helping out our streamers, such as you, we have a couple other really great streamers that represent our organization. It's really important information, making sure they're informed. And I guess all we can do is advise caution. We have some contacts, we have some ways to try to help out if there is a situation. Um, we have slightly more connections, I'd say, than your average streamer might have on their own to try to
Right.
get something fixed. Um, but there's really not much anyone can do about this situation.
Just basically
It's
shine some light on the
yeah,
subject and hope,
yeah,
do your
I,
research on the streamers that you have under you. Making
yeah.
sure.
I mean, there
Go ahead.
really is no perfect solution to this situation. We can't expect record labels to say, "Hey, you can use our copyrighted music for free on Twitch streams." That's not going to happen.
Right.
We can't expect Twitch to hire a warehouse of lawyers. Maybe they can improve a little bit, but no algorithm can solve this situation. Unless they develop some really nice artificial intelligence.
Right.
Um, but we can't expect them to hire a warehouse of lawyers. And I guess you could say streamers, hey, just stop playing music, and be entertaining on your own merits. But I mean, I think a stream is a big part of the like a music could really enhance a stream and take it to the next level if used appropriately, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
so I think just trying to find the right balance and realize that this isn't a perfect system. It never will be. And just do what we can to make the best of a bad situation.
Okay. Great. Perfect. Now, same question applies to you. Thank you so much, Treg.
Of course.
Same question applies to you, Canadian. I know you're a content creator yourself, like I said before.
Yep.
So you know like what to watch out for when you're creating your own content. But you now, as a new org owner, for the streamers that you have under you as well, or the future streamers, what would you say you would do to protect them and yourself?
Uh, honestly, Power, that's a really tough question to answer, and I'll tell you why. Is that, um, as an org owner, like with our streamers and our players and stuff, we don't really want to set an expectation for their content or how they handle it. You're right, they do need to protect themselves, but I just think there's so many weaknesses exposed in the Twitch system that it comes down to more, not so much like if you're doing something right or wrong, but I think it comes down more to, if a creator wants to play certain music that they know they're going to get striked on in their stream because that's going to help their stream and they don't care about the strike, for example, I think that's their choice because there should be an option for that streamer to license that and use it in their stream.
Mm-hmm.
And back to what Treg said, when you look at Twitch and their capacity to handle inquiries and stuff, like I don't think anyone expects them to have like a big system of lawyers or anything like that. I think when it comes down to it, if there was a form that you could fill out and provide like a right or a license to use that music in your stream, I think it should be like on the honor system to an extent. If a streamer who's an affiliate or partner submitted that form, now Twitch has all their personal information. If they submitted a false form or they put false information in it, that's fraud.
Right.
So
Right.
they could be criminally charged at that
Mm-hmm.
point. So I think streamers who are affiliate or partner, I don't think they would take that risk. I think they would license the music and do things appropriately, or at least I'd hope so, and continue to create the content that they create and also put the music into the stream. Now, me personally, my style of videos that I do, with Siege, I don't listen to music when I play Siege, so that's not a problem for me.
Mm-hmm.
And when I make the other content that I make on our BA channel, I don't listen to music in any of the games. Actually, I have music turned off in every game because although we don't stream it, when it goes on YouTube, we know it's going to get striked if it's shown up. But the harsh reality was where I learned that was I was driving a car in Grand Theft Auto for a video, and after I
Yep.
got monetized, I got a notification that I had received a warning, and it was because the 2 seconds I counted 2 seconds that I was in that vehicle, the radio was on, and it played 2 seconds of the song. and that got me a strike on its own. I didn't even have a chance to turn off the radio, man. I hopped in that car, I didn't have a chance to turn off the radio, but so I went and turned the music off completely from that game. And
Right.
that's just unfortunately how it is now. Now,
Yeah.
the other concept comes down to, though, is like some streamers make a decent amount of money from donations, for example, or merch sales or sponsorships. And I think if you're one of those streamers, I think if there was a way that Twitch could let you, for example, stream the music, and give up ad revenue, for example, I
Yeah.
think that's beneficial to the streamer because you're making your income in other ways, and ad revenue is a small portion of your Twitch earnings. But the problem is that doesn't make Twitch money. So why would they want you streaming for them if they can't make money off the ad revenue? Because you
Right.
earn that ad revenue for them as well, right?
Right.
So you
Right.
think
Right.
they'd have an invested interest in making it somewhat more flexible or dynamic for the streamers to find a happy medium between music that's allowed and not allowed.
Right.
The other thing that it tracks back to, though, is what I said at the start with it not being on the live video. So if you're a content creator and you have a way of recording while you stream, for example, that's an alternative instead of having VODs. You don't really need those VODs up there, to be honest. You could have a trailer and you could have your stream. That's
Right.
it. So you could play the music while you stream, and the chances of getting strike during a stream are extremely slim to none. I don't think
Right.
I've ever heard of it happening. So
Right.
then you just don't have your VODs, you don't get striked. All is good in the world, right? They don't know you did it.
Yeah. Thank you, Canadian, obviously, for your input. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a difficult situation. Real quick, Trreg, I know you got something to say, but I want to touch on one little thing. Just make it quick. You said that you don't really want to like set a standard for your streamers for your organization. So like, I want to put it like this into perspective. So let's just say you have a bunch of streamers that come in. You know, you're starting to get streamers under your belt, under
Yep.
your organization, and a lot of them play music, and some of them have multiple strikes on their accounts, YouTube, Twitch, whatever, right? And like, isn't that gonna look badly on your organization itself when you got 10 streamers and 7 of them have a ton of strikes on their channels, and you're not really like monetizing that? You're not really doing anything with that. Wouldn't that look bad though?
So
I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying hypothetically speaking.
yeah, if I could go really far in depth, but just to give you a quick answer, basically we'd work with those creators to find a way that music that they want to play could be allowed, whether it's YouTube or Twitch. Twitch is really hard to deal with, so I'm not going to discuss Twitch, but YouTube, for example, there's fairly decent to deal with.
Mhm.
We would find a way to license that music or have our editors find royalty-free music. We'd find alternatives. We'd make sure that they did have music that they could play that they didn't have to worry about. But the first option, honestly, would just be to help that, you know, if a creator said, I want to play this DMX song,
Yeah.
we would find a way to license it. We'd find a way to submit that to YouTube and get the permission to put it. And I know there's ways to do it with YouTube. I just don't know if you can do that with Twitch yet. So
Right.
that's something that we're actively looking into, even for myself, but also for the other creators.
Perfect. I just wanted to make that perfectly clear for other orgs out there that may or may not see this video later. Trreg,
Yeah.
you said you had something to say?
Yeah, just going off what we were talking about before, like if we're trying to talk solutions here, one of them is obviously Twitch building up their infrastructure a little bit to handle situations where you can submit licenses and
Mhm.
maybe they can work that algorithm around it, right? Try to improve it, obviously. I mean, the other solution is that like if you're wondering why now, why is DMCA suddenly a massive issue? Twitch is working on their own music platform of sorts, right, where you can you pay their fee and they make money and they have a library of music and sounds you can play. That I don't know if it's released or is releasing soon. I think it's in beta testing. So obviously with that coming out, they want to crack down on illegal music usage. Maybe they could work out a similar type of deal with Spotify. The problem with Spotify, right? If people think, well, I pay for Spotify, can't I now use my Spotify music? It doesn't quite work that way. You license music from Spotify for
Mhm.
personal use, not commercial use. Maybe Twitch, you'd pay a fee to Twitch to be able to use Spotify, Twitch work together.
Mhm.
Not likely to happen because Amazon and Spotify are not on good terms. It's more likely you could get it through Amazon Music, but it's all. I mean, there's potential there. Amazon Music and Twitch. I'm just kind of rolling ideas
Yeah,
off my head
no.
now, coming up with things on the spot. But if obviously Amazon owns Amazon Music, as well as Twitch, they could find a way to make a partnership happen there. But that would require good relationships between the record labels and Twitch themselves to figure that out. And that's not going to happen if they're letting anybody play any song they want. So this
Right.
crackdown is unfortunate. It's created a lot of awkward situations. It's been a PR disaster for just about everybody involved. And a lot of streamers are going through some tough times, being it that they're rightly or wrongly punished for their actions. Um, I like to think that everyone who was wrongly punished will get some sort of solution. May not be as quick or as perfect as we want, but I like to think that eventually it's going to get sorted out. And we can move forward from this. I think everyone's learned lessons at least,
Right.
uh, and we can try to go forward.
Um, real quick, I just wanna close things up. In conclusion to this, so real quick, I want to hear from both of you guys. One more question: what do you guys think Twitch can do? I think we've answered this several different ways, but just sum it up for me a little bit. What do you think Twitch or any other streaming platform can do to improve on the DMCA and their solution for it?
I think communication is key. Communication and information. The more people know about the situation, that way when they break the rules, even if the rules aren't perfect, they know it's on them. Right? Things need to be clear.
Right.
Um, so Tim the Tap Man knows that technically what he's doing is legal, but it'll follow Twitch rules, but he'll still get a DMCA strike because that's the way the system works.
Mm-hmm.
He knows if he has to deal with the headache of getting all of his VODs get back, that's on him at this point.
Okay.
It's not perfect that he can't use that music that he has the rights to, but he knows what's going to happen. Like streamers should know if I play this song exactly what's going to happen, whether it's legal or illegal, what Twitch will do about it.
So you're saying on both ends it's an eye opener. It's basically, on a streamer perspective, they should
Mhm.
know what they can and cannot play, and for Twitch's perspective, they need to enlighten their content creators, their streamers, their
Yep.
community on the broad spectrum of DMCA and what they expect when people stream.
Mhm.
Correct?
Maybe even they have like a test feature, right? You do like a private stream, and it'll test the algorithm, right? Like if I play this song, will the algorithm pick this up, and it'll
Right.
tell you, like you're streaming to a bot, right? Essentially, and it'll flash green if you're good and flash red if you break DMCA or something, right?
That,
Just little things like that, ways that streamers can have the information and maybe even test things out. So there shouldn't be any doubt to what the end result will be to their actions.
perfect. Perfect. All right, Canadian. Just sum up basically, what you think Twitch or other platforms could do to improve their DMCA, their issues with streamers and DMCA.
For sure. To touch lightly, like the question of Spotify came up. When you're a user buying into Spotify Premium, or even if you're buying a song, you're buying that for private use. You're not buying that for reuse. And I think that's the best way to sum that up. Solutions like that will probably never ever work, and I can't see Twitch partnering with anyone outside of the Amazon empire, for example, to do that. So when you look at Amazon Music, for example, that's something now they're trying to push. I think if maybe they developed a system that was based into Twitch Studio Beta, for example, and Streamlabs was to improve on it, or your Twitch dashboard, you can run like an ad break, for example, on your Twitch dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we have a module where basically you search a song, and if the song's in the list, you can play that song, and then you play that song, or you can create a DMCA free playlist, and you can play that playlist, for example,
Right.
where just the same way that you go to run an ad or you go to set an alert or anything of that nature, you could do that with the music that you know that you can play. But I think what Trreg said, and I think what everyone who has been involved with Twitch knows now, they do need to invest more money into their support for their affiliates and also their partners. And I think simply it's just a call center. They don't have a call center right now that you can call and say, hey, I'm an affiliate. This is my account information, and I need help with this. They don't have that. And so what you see, the PR disaster that's happening, it's because a lot of streamers are panicking because they don't have a way to talk about this with Twitch
To fix it,
and
right?
that's a bigger problem. So what do you do when you can't communicate with a company? You tweet about it, unfortunately, and then news articles pop up, and if you're a big streamer, everyone's out. It's just like a rat race, right?
Right.
So I think, to sum it up the best way possible, Twitch needs to develop a system where streamers can add in music that they confirm is royalty free. I like the bot idea that Trreg had, where you do a
Yeah.
private stream and you add a song, play a song, and maybe you play it for a certain period, like 60 seconds, and then it pops up green or says, "Yep, you can use it" or whatever, and then you add that to your library, for example. But to touch on it more, Amazon's all about making money for Amazon. What if Amazon Music actually integrated with Twitch, where you could pay a little extra and buy a specific reuse license for a song from Amazon Music that you can use only in Twitch? That
Right.
doesn't help YouTube, but that does help Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe YouTube would jump on board, or maybe they could work together to develop a system for both platforms, basically. YouTube's algorithm is probably one of the most advanced for finding copyright strikes, or it can even detect if a video has been downloaded and copied, or a clip from it.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't Twitch work somehow with YouTube to develop a system? Because a lot of Twitch streamers do use YouTube as well. But at the same token, YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Gaming, for example, they're all kind of after each other. So I can't see them working together, but if they did, I think that would be the perfect solution for streamers.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with you. Like you said, YouTube's. I mean, I've just started doing my YouTube. I'm slowly growing my YouTube. I'm learning, little things with YouTube. But my first couple of videos, I didn't realize, like, the intros I had music playing in the background, and it was copyright claim. It literally says, like, not even 30 seconds after. I think it's almost instant that after the video was downloaded onto YouTube, it literally tells you, is it copyright claim? Is it, it's literally like instant. And I was having issues because I was wondering what was going on with mine, and I realized my 5-second intros that I had music playing. I was like, oh, that's what's happening. But yeah, I think YouTube's algorithm is, like, by far the best. I mean, They let you know what's going on. They even let you know what part of the video. Like, if you look, they even let you know what part of the video the copyright claim is for, and they give you options, obviously, to how to fix it. But I think Twitch needs to really learn. Myself personally, I think Twitch really needs to learn a lot from YouTube on what they did to improve, people from getting hit with copyright streams. But me personally, I just want to close this up real quick. Me personally, I don't blame Twitch for cracking down, but at the same time, it's kind of on both ends of the stick. The streamers, myself, just everybody included who streams needs to know. Obviously, I'm not gonna play Rihanna on my stream because Rihanna is a huge artist, and I know she's got her stuff protected. I'm not going to do that on my stream. I'm not stupid. I think streamers need to know what they can and cannot play. But at the same time, Twitch really does need to enlighten people, and I agree with both of you guys' inputs. Twitch needs to enlighten people on their standards when it comes to DMCA. I get it. Like, there's you can go to Twitch's site, and you can go to their help, and you can look at, like, their rules and regulations. Like, you can do all that, but if you're really trying to make a point about something, like, make it known on the homepage or something, like, hey, we don't tolerate this. But now that a lot of streamers are getting, strikes, suspensions, all that, I think people are actually getting the feel for it. But I just wish it didn't come to that ultimately. But all right. I do want to thank, Trreg from Mismatch Gaming, and also Canadian as well from Talentless Esports. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you guys for your inputs. I wish you guys nothing but the best. You guys have been a huge, improvement to, enlightening everybody on the DMCA issue. I just want to thank you guys so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Just one last piece of advice: if you don't know what you're doing, just call a lawyer. When you're not sure about something, just don't do anything dumb and call a lawyer. It's the easiest way to get out of trouble.
Canadian,
There's
you got
also-
anything last to say?
Yeah, if you actually get into that situation, you don't want to spend the money on it. There's a lot of free legal resources that you can utilize in your local state or province, wherever you live. So keep that in mind as well.
Right,
There
right.
are also good Reddit lawyers. There are a lot.
My man said
That's
Reddit lawyers.
That's actually serious. If you just have like a quick, stupid little question, there are a lot of really great lawyers on Reddit who just sit there.
So if we learned anything today, Reddit lawyers, get you
Reddit
one.
lawyers. 80% of the research I did on this came from a Reddit post. They're smart people.
Plot twist, it's
Use
a
them.
12-year-old that wants to be a lawyer.
I checked him out. I checked his LinkedIn. He's legit.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thank you, man.